Welcome, race fans from around the globe. Here they come, out of turn 4, to the white flag, and it's 1 to go.
All right, hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 1 to Go Studios coverage of Split Decision Racing League Triple Threat, coming at you now from the iRacing Nashville Superspeedway for tonight's event, which is the Real Heroes 90, presented by the number 93 car. That's Mr. Gibbs. In the booth with me tonight is Andy Dunwoody. Going to be running that second camera and running pit lane. Andy, one thing it bothers me about the name of this track is Nashville Superspeedway. It's 1.33 miles. It's smaller than the D-shapes.
But it's bigger than the fairgrounds. I think that's what they're going at. But it does not race like a super speedway by any means. It's not a bump draft track. It's not any kind of racetrack like that. It's fast, but the corners are like Martinsville or.
I always thought this was
Wilkesboro.
I always thought this was more. It kind of feels to me like a Dover a little bit, but
I guess kinda.
It's a little bit longer straightaways, but you do have to make sure that you're letting that car get into that corner and you're waiting to get back on the throttle.
And you got to get your brakes to work right. You got to get your brake biases set right, because you definitely have to brake going into the corner.
Yep.
Because you're still doing about 180 mile an hour on the back straightaway.
180 in the back straightaway, huh? We got guys out there tonight already working the track. That would up to 4 drivers in, is what I'm seeing, just registered Mr. Cop, I think, for Xfinity. So we have a low, small Xfinity series list, and then everybody else splits evenly between Cup and Truck tonight. The short tracks seem to favor the trucks most of the time. I think because they have the better acceleration, don't they? Or is it more the fact that they don't have the horsepower, and that means they don't have to get on the binders as hard?
I think it's the second one. I think it's kind of the lateral both. They make better traction because they don't have as much horsepower, and then you can stay in the gas longer. These trucks, you go to a big track and they're wide open all day. Track like this, they're probably just gonna have to lift and then roll back to the power. Keep the truck planted, and it's gonna get greasy to this concrete. This is a bigger concrete track that we're not used to seeing. And it's a fairly new track. This track only came to the service late last year.
Yep. I believe it's from NASCAR, it's only the second concrete track, the other one being Dover.
Bristol is concrete.
Is it? Okay.
I believe that's it.
Not many. Not many.
And this is you go back to this is the biggest track
Of the 3. Yep, definitely. And I believe the same people who own this own Dover as well.
Well, they all own them all now.
They all own them now?
Speedway Corp owns everything now.
Okay.
We won't get into that.
We won't get into that. I wonder why we're going. Okay, all right.
You want me to get into that? I'll get into that. They're taking a date from Pocono. They're talking about taking a date from Dover for Wilkesboro.
Dover doesn't have but one, so they take it from Dover. We ain't got no track no more.
That's right. They're taking it from Pocono. They're taking it from Pocono to give to. They're talking about taking it from Pocono to give to the fairgrounds. Since the fairgrounds not on the schedule yet.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina is going to be bidding to get Rockingham or North Wilkesboro back on the system, so because they spent millions of dollars, the state did, on helping those tracks.
Right, and we'll see how good North Wilkesboro really is when the Cup cars go there for the All-Star race next year. As compared to like the way the late models race there at the beginning of October.
They resurfaced, didn't it?
No, they didn't. They actually did. They were talking about it.
I thought
because
because they said that right after the late models they were going to resurface it through the winter. I thought.
so remember they were going to put dirt down and run dirt there first,
Ah, yes, that didn't
and
happen.
they said the dirt's going to ruin what's there, and that racetrack's perfect. It's what they're saying. It's wore out. It's like Atlanta used to be.
Okay, well, we'll see. So on YouTube, New Mission's asking about the low count for Xfinity. Yes, that is showing us on our system. Only 4 of the Xfinity drivers are in here tonight. A lot of drivers taking provisionals here in be our second week in December, right?
Yes.
And points racing is about to end because we got, I believe, one more race next Friday, and then we take 2 weeks off and come back to the playoffs. So let's look at that since we're talking about points. Let's get that up here. So there's our Cup points right now. Gibbs leading the way with Lucas Smith, Dylan Clark, Lucas Gortman, and Ryan Johnson has now moved up in the top 5, which we were talking about him last week when he won that race and told him that he's, for some reason, been left out of the power rankings.
Not sure why he's getting left off the power rankings, other than maybe that's because they're doing it based on the top 5.
I told him he's like the University of Michigan to ESPN. You know, it's like we just don't like you. So, all right, moving on to the Xfinity Series. We have 15 drivers participating in that one. Seidner has 10 race wins. 13 races have gone down, and as you see, the other race winners not even on in the Xfinity Series top 15.
I think the other interesting part is Seidner has all those wins, but he really doesn't have that big a lead. He has a big lead, but he doesn't have that big a lead. Well, it's still only 70 points. He could miss a couple races, and
it restarts in 2 weeks. So to the playoff format starts in January.
Okay.
So I can see that may be part of the reason here. Then we got Herrigs, Kopp, Manwaring, and Matthew Wheeler. I believe, if somebody might want to correct me, I believe a penalty had been put out for Matthew Wheeler, and he's been suspended for the rest of the season. I could be wrong. So I believe I saw that from the admins, but I believe, I do know there was one league I was in. There was a Matthew Wheeler and a Matthew Boston Wheeler, so I don't want to make sure for that. So we'll see. And then on to the Truck Series. So based on this, that would be the Matthew Wheeler. So yeah, and New Mission Motorsports agrees, said yes, he's gone, unfortunately. Joe Turkel, DJ Trout, Kevin Garoni, Mr. Pork Chop there, Ethan Michaels, and Richard Crane in that 36 car are the top 5 in the trucks as they run now. None of these guys, remember we had that 1 week where we had the driver who was moved up into the Xfinity Series and had won, but he's not here tonight. Him and his buddy Body, right? So,
yeah, they won Talladega.
Yep. And it was an excellent ride there with the fuel run. So that's our system there. And so before I forget, and we only got 5 seconds left in the practice, throw the power rankings. And guess what? Tiny Horse made it. He's in the 4th spot.
He's also 4th in points now, isn't he?
I know he's 5th. He is 5th.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, we're going to be getting into individual qualifying now. 2 laps by themselves set the grid for tonight's race. 90 minutes here at Nashville Superspeedway. Basically went straight west from Richmond last week.
Right, a little bit bigger racetrack. This track drive's totally different than Richmond, even being only a little bit bigger. I think it's going to be exciting to watch these guys make moves, because now I guess we're going to do the same qualifying and starting format as last week, where they're all mixed together, which could make it interesting.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if you're going to run cars that are in the same genre, the whole NASCAR system. I don't see breaking them down into the classes. Well, I kind of like that idea. If you're the fastest car, then you should be up the front. So,
Right.
it's a new mission saying the same thing in YouTube that I was saying. Not a super speedway.
It's not a super speedway. It's almost a short track. It's a short track with really long straightaways.
but let's get real to the point though. I mean, you can kind of go back and argue this. Darlington, when it opened, was called a super speedway. The 1 mile at the time, it was one of the largest racetracks. But then, of course, they changed the name as it went on.
Yeah, that was a mile and a half.
So Kevin Garoni's out here, first one on the racetrack. We're looking at him at this point. It was like Joe Turkel takes the top spot in the truck. And
Grab it to the top of the board.
Yep, Mr. Kremit up to the top now in that 97 ride. Put the legends on it. It'll be a super speedway then.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It might not be any fun though.
I still think what was it? We did the legends we did them at Dover. Remember you and I?
Oh yeah, that was
for
fun
a
too.
test session. It is
Dover and Bristol.
We were using the apron and
Yeah.
everything, whatever you could get. So now we got Douglas Wasaki out here for the trucks. The 85, Patrick Anderson, and the number 99 out on the racetrack, putting up his first lap time. And he's using a Corona car? No, that's a Christian Mingles car. That's right. That's his. Get him right there. There he is. A Christian Mingle car with
American Dad.
American Dad. That's right. So, yeah. Xavier Moore out on his truck, 18 ride. So just for information, Justin Gibbs, the person who is sponsored tonight's race, has put up $50 per class for $150 to bona fide first responder charities, but selected by the winner tonight. So each winner will have that ability to choose a sponsor, and Mr. Gibbs will give $50 to that charity in their name tonight.
Might have to ask him about that.
Yeah, we might have to. Mr. Finnegan in a 174 Turtle Shells car. Hey, Kate. So off goes new mission. So that's Corey Herrigs. And he's an Xfinity Series driver, E6, I believe, staff sergeant. So we'll see him around. Part of the new mission motorsports team. No, Andy Dunwoody checked in on Facebook.
You're funny. You're funny. I was talking to Kathy Joe.
You're talking to Kathy Joe. All right, cool.
She said hi. I answered her.
Yeah, well, see, Kathy Joe, she, being upstate New York, she's at, I believe that's right. She's shared out all the stuff that we're doing tomorrow for the church.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool, her, and she'll be coming down here or through here in the next week or so. All right, so that's Chris Finnegan. He puts himself into the 4th spot for the truck's overall 7th position. As a reminder, everyone, how this is fixed setups, so the drivers do not have the ability to change the setups at all. Josh Susi is the master tuner that tunes these cars, so they all have the same setup, but it is not the iRacing fixed setup. So what do you think about that there, Andy? You and I, we've tinkered with, and we realized, I think really early on, that the iRacing fixed setups are ultra tight.
Those, I feel like they work for everybody.
Yeah.
But some people are better at them.
Yeah.
And then you can always make them faster, but still make them work for everybody else. And that's basically what they've done. If they just made it, they've made it faster overall, made it handle better, made it drive better. but it's still everybody can drive it.
Yeah.
Basically, I do like that because there's a lot of setups where the iRacing setup could be better, and he's just making it better.
I've always wondered who actually sets the iRacing fix setups.
That's a good question.
Because I know that, like you said, the idea is to basically put in a setup that's not going to cause a driver basically a heart attack every time he goes around the racetrack.
Right.
You know,
Right, which is the opposite of the way I like it.
Very drivable, but it's not fast.
Right. It's
Drivable.
definitely not as fast as it could be.
Right. When the car feels like it's basically sitting on a teeter-totter, that's where you want it.
What did Harry Hawk say? Loose is fast, and on the edges.
Scary fast.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
No, it's scary fast. He said something else.
Something else? Okay.
And over the edges in the wall.
Over the hedges in the wall? Okay. All right. So Jeff Ramsdale puts up the fastest lap now in his Exalta Pepsi ride, I believe, right? Number 7.
Yes.
Yep.
Dylan Clark went P3 and P5.
Yeah. 5
It is
overall,
34 car?
third. Yep. And he's running the Towers tribute on his car.
Yes.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And I don't know if you don't know what the Tunnels to Tower Foundation is, a brother of one of the fallen firefighters who actually ran through the tunnel to get into the inner city with his gear. And he succumbed during the evacuation of all those people, is the one who founded Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And they basically pay mortgages off for families of... we call them Gold Star families or families of fallen soldiers. So, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you can go check them out. The Tunnel to Towers. About a minute and a half left. Here's Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson in his pitch black Mountain Dew 38 out there on the racetrack. So we are in all 3 of our normal positions tonight: Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So,
Kathy Joe, you can keep the snow up there.
Keep the snow up there, yeah. And then this is this week 1 or are we on week 13 right now?
Week 13.
Okay, we're in week 13. So I know it was at least week 13 because I had a huge update when I came into the service tonight. So hopefully nothing will go completely haywire, because week 13s and week 1s tend to be the time that ATVO and iRacing don't see eye to eye. So we'll keep that in the back of our minds tonight.
I'm looking forward to this week, except I have a lot of work to do for this week.
Yeah,
Between
the hybrid that's out for IMSA.
Oh, that thing's a handful. Let's just say that.
It's fast though, isn't it?
It's very fast. Our
So
teammate is
super
trying
top
to
of the
talk
board.
us into running that.
Instead of the LMP.
No, he's talking about getting us to run that as our LMP this year.
Yeah, like I said, instead of the LMP.
Instead of the GT3.
What? No, we run the GT3, and then some people run the LMP.
That's what he wants us to do, but I would still think we're better off with just 2 GT3 cars.
I think the GT3 cars is going to be good. Josh Susi sneaks in the pole at the end there.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you're better off going late.
And there it is. Josh in his Superman 81 puts it on the pole. Mr. Turkle, the top of the trucks, and Garrett Seidner in his Cookout rendition in the top for the Xfinity Series. And we're going down to the racetrack. As the guys are taking to the grid looks to me like they're in class position this week. As you look at them,
Yes,
they're
yes,
in class.
it does.
They're in class position with the Cup cars up front. So the order of the Cup cars is because I don't see a trucks there because there's 3 trucks, 6, 7,
True.
and 8. So there's the trucks.
Turkle should be 6th. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the back.
Correct.
So what we got going on is Josh Susie and Johnson Tiny Horse on the outside. Inside of 2 is Dylan Clark and Jeff Ramsdale. Outside of him, Sir Crimmett and Bo Ross will be in the 4th row, or the 3rd row, right? 3rd row.
3rd row. Bo Ross is 3rd row.
4th row is Justin Gibbs and Michael Gitchell, who hasn't been on the track yet. And then Garrett Seidner in that 50 cook out there, and the 99 on the outside of him, followed by, that would be
Patrick Anderson
there. And Harley Barletta should be on the outside of him. And then you have the trucks, Joe Turkle with DJ Trout, Kevin Garoni. Outside him is Finnegan, Crane and Wasaki, Xavier Moore, Joe Brewer, and Matt Kopp. So that is tonight's lineup. Cups up front, followed by the Xfinity Series and the trucks on back. I think the trucks will actually make quick work of going through and getting up to the Cup cars. Well, let's see how that works tonight.
Time's up to get gridded, so.
So Josh Susie behind the pickup truck for the pace truck tonight. Okay, most likely 2 laps here, right?
Should be 2 laps to green. But the lights are already off on the pace car, so we might be going green this time.
Well, I guess if they call it a super speedway, only get 1 lap. So
Possible.
Barletta and Gitchell have elected to either start in the pits or they're having issues with their connection, whichever that is. But the 4 and the 48 in pit lane.
Yeah, lights are still off on the pace car. We should be coming to the green.
Yeah, 20 drivers to take to the green flag tonight. 90 minutes of racing with a stage break at 55 to go. And they should be coming to the green, and they're in the restart zone there. Looks like a good start between Susie and Tiny Horse Johnson. Tiny Horse about a half car length behind entering turn number 1.
Yep, you're going to see Tiny Horse start to work that outside. Try to just hang right there on the outside of Susie. Looks like Gramsdale slotting into 3rd with Dylan Clark in 4th.
A mid-pack in your bottom left there around where Garrett Seidner's at.
Yeah, that would be the lead of the Xfinity race of Patrick Anderson and Garrett Seidner. Followed by DJ Trout. As you were saying, Harold, DJ Trout's already making some moves.
Yep.
Good battle for the lead.
So on board with Dylan Clark as the number 97 puts up the fastest lap. And he's in the 5th position. You can see the leaders in front of him. The purple Kremik Crush there. And the number 7 is Jeff Ramsdale. Then the top 2 in front of them. You see a lot of the wheel movement in there. That's a lot of seesawing for a corner entry.
Or it looks like it's definitely free on cold tires. You get that in the beginning until they start to build air pressure. The setup might be low on air, so it might be dragging the racetrack. I don't know. We can't really hear that. But I know that is a factor with these Cup cars. You want them as low as possible.
Build up a little. I did notice in practice that Josh Susie was shifting in the corners from 5th to 4th off the ends.
That's interesting. That's something we got to keep track of. It doesn't look like Garrett, not Garrett, Dylan. It doesn't look like Dylan's shifting at all.
Nope.
got one off. Who was that? We got a truck on the pit road.
Douglas Wasaki.
Ooh,
Number
disconnected?
85. Not showing a disconnect. Manually disconnected, what I saw. Just happened, so. All right,
Tough
so
break.
yeah, so 1 hour 26 remaining. About 3 minutes in already. The Cup cars all basically in a line here, 1 through 7.
Yep, and then DJ Trout leading the trucks, just hanging out behind them.
Yeah, he's in their wake too, right there, 8/10 behind Bo Ross. If he can catch up there and use their draft, help him out. And the truck drivers all told us if they can get locked down to the Cup car, they can kind of drag him around the racetrack.
Definitely. You can kind of see some of these guys already trying a second lane and trying to see if they can make moves happen and try to figure out what works. Try to save some tire already, because this concrete surface is going to be hard on the tires all night.
Like Richard Crane and Matt Kopp may have gotten into one of the other some of 4X reports that just happened. So just that's the 22 and the 36. We'll try to get back to that real quick here.
They were close, but I'm not sure they hit each other. Oh,
Right there.
Never mind.
There's another truck that came up and got Rich Crane, and there's only one car, so they're going to keep
What was
going.
the 18?
That was
Xavier Moore?
Xavier Moore, yep.
Garrett Seidner's sliding. He's going back the wrong way through these trucks right now. Garoni and Finnegan got past them. So you might be right with these trucks being faster than.
Well, he said they're not having to get on the binders, and if the truck sticks to the track, all the way around, and they're not worried about sliding, the Cup cars will eventually wear out the good in the good years, and they're going to really start fighting that car some. We shall see, though. So what disconnected? We started 2 cars that did not get in. It was the 4 and the Mr. Gitchell were the 2 cars that didn't even take to the grid.
I guess that's their way of collecting points for being here, but not collecting points for running the race.
Harley Berletta and Mike Gitchell, the 48, did not make the grid, and then Douglas Wasaki's the first car off, and I believe Richard Crane is staying out on the racetrack. He took that heavy spill up into the corner, and he's still racing that car. Gonna hold off on getting the fast repair.
Kind of makes sense as long as he can stay on the lead lap, or even 1 lap down. Yeah, because they get their lap back. Yeah.
As long as he stays within 1 lap of the truck leader, he'll get his lap back. Because it's to your class leader. If you're within 1 lap, you'll get the wave around at the stage break. You're probably good if you can get to that port. That's the issue. If you got a really ill handling race car, it's not going to help you out much. All right, so Mr. Gitchell has rejoined the service some 13 laps down based to probably a connection issue.
Got a battle for the lead. Tiny Horse to the high side of the 81.
And Kremet just there going, who do I push?
Or when you guys screw up, and get into each other again like you have been the last couple weeks.
Yeah, they like to find one another, that's for sure.
The fast cars always.
They always trying for the same space. That's what it is.
And they always get to it. They're all always the same speed too. Kind of single file at the front here, Harold.
Yeah, all the way back, 1 through 7, same thing, but now DJ Trout's fallen off of that draft.
Yeah, he may have hurt his tires, but he still has a good lead over Turkle and Garoni.
Spread out amongst the trucks is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, they're not all together anymore.
Garoni and Finnegan are only 2 together.
And then Seidner's all by himself. And he has a big lead on Patrick Anderson. So the action is still at the front. With Susie and Tiny Horse. Susie with a look to the inside of Tiny Horse. Looks like Sir Kremit's going to try to roll the bottom behind Susie. Give him a push of air to the front. Ramsdale's now trying to figure out where he's going to go. It definitely seems like you got to get your run and take it. You can't really ride because if you don't take that move, then you're going to run out of help from behind you.
Really not a lot of passing areas here. It's like you have to outdo the entry and then slide up in front of the guy or figure a way to get faster off the corner.
Right, or wait for them to make a mistake.
Yep.
Tires are still pretty good 20 laps into the run, but we don't know how much these guys are saving and whatnot. Looks like there's a lap car in front of the leaders. But they'll catch here in a few laps.
It'll be Richard Crane, the number 36. 28 seconds behind the race leader, and the race leader's run 30 seconds, so about 2 seconds in front. And that's the one that has the damage to the car we talked about earlier.
The other thing I took notice to, Harold, was that the fastest lap looks like it's a truck. Maybe not. Sir Kremit's got a 30.2 to DJ Trout in a truck with a 30.3. So the trucks are just as fast as the next gens.
Yep, and they're not too far off. They're the trucks. But Kremet and Johnson, I think, have a little bit faster than DJ Trout, but not by much. Looks like Gibbs and Kremet both have 30.2 fast times, and then DJ's in the 30.3. So a tenth, not a lot there.
But that's on new tires. Right now, we're looking at Susie just ran a 30.9, and then they're 3 wide. Well, that's the 18. They're lapping of Xavier Moore. What I was saying was that the leader's running 31 O's, and then DJ Trout's running 31 7s. So he's abused his tires to get to the front of the trucks. Or these tires just don't last as long.
I think it's a little bit that DJ just wanted to get a little bit of a cushion there. So he's about 7 seconds behind Bo Ross and about 2 seconds ahead of Turkle.
And he's matching lap times with Turkle. I say that and he goes 2/10 faster. Another battle for the lead. Susie taking a shot at Tiny Horse. All the passing seems to happen down there in turn 3 and 4.
Guess the mid to high groove's just not as good down there 3 and 4 than it is over here in 1 and 2.
Again, all the Cup guys are all singled out.
First 6 are all pretty much in a row, and Bo Ross back about 2 seconds behind Justin Gibbs.
So he lost some ground in that shakeup with the lap cars. Richard Crane and Xavier Moore. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be Susie or Tiny Horse. They look to have the strongest car, at least right now. Not sure if Sir Kremit's saving it. Sitting there riding.
We have 27 laps in 14 minutes of racing, and not a lot of change up front except for the first 2, but we're catching up lap traffic quite quickly as Joe Brewer and Matt Copper are the next ones to go down here.
Which then this lap.
As Brewer up to the top gives way, and then I believe that is
Top.
Yeah, Matthew Kopp there, yeah. And my timing and scoring is messed up because Kopp is Xfinity, but he's not the leader, that's for sure. So they do a reload here real quick. Like I said, we knew something was going to happen. It happens every week 13 or week 1. I get something crazy happens.
As long as that's the extent of it tonight.
I'm waiting for the screen to get refreshed here.
Tiny Horse to the back bumper. Tiny Horse to the back bumper of Susie.
Susie again, yep.
Kind of just pushing him away from Sir Kremet.
Yep. All right, now our time is scoring bugs are correct. All right, back to the action again. We fixed that little hiccup there. Didn't want them thinking that Kopp was in the lead when he was actually a lap back at this point. About 20 minutes left here until we get to the competition caution or the stage break.
Are they going to make it? Do we think they're going to make it on fuel to the stage break?
No, I did not get any information about what they've got in their tanks.
Because they're at 32 laps already. In, what have we gone, 15 minutes?
I'm showing the Xfinity Series has 80% fuel cells.
So based on the amount of time we've gone and how much time is left in the stage, I would say they might have to pit right before the stage break. Looks like Joe Turkle was on pit road. Looks like all the truck guys were on pit road. Oh, wait, where's my stint? No, just Joe Turkle. So he may be splitting this stage in half.
If you're going about my timing and scoring, it's going to be messed up because we had to restart it.
Oh, okay.
So the stints aren't going to be correct, I don't think.
Here we go. Got Patrick Anderson on pit road. Oh, he missed his pit box. So this could be a strategy call to come down, put tires and gas on at the halfway mark of the stage.
If you're going to need to do it, you might as well split the stint in 2 pieces.
And there's definitely an advantage to being the first guy on pit road or the second guy on pit road because, you know, effectively shortcutted all those other guys. You'll get to your fresh tires faster and and start burning them up fast. He should, in theory, be the fastest guy on the racetrack for the next couple laps. Oh. Apparently Mr. Ramsdale's doing a little blink. Little connection. I just saw him on timing and scoring, disappear and come back.
Yeah, it's showing a quality issue from what I'm seeing. Joys of internet racing.
Justin Gibbs on pit road. Push some fresh tires. I guess this kind of answers our question on if they're going to need a pit or not.
Ramsdale coming down is what he says. So, hand out the window. Here they come. The 81 goes down as well. Now that is a very big difference between the apron and pit entry there. You see how the 81 was tossed a little bit when he got onto the flat.
Truck to pit road. Joel Brewer. I guess that's how hard you want to try to get to pit road. Tiny horse to pit road. So this is going to force basically everybody else's hand now that Tiny Horse come to pit road. Susie's already been to pit road and leaving.
Looks like Bo Ross and Kremit are the only two that are going to stay out and try to extend this a little bit.
DJ Chout for the trucks, Garrett Seidner, Kevin Garoni, those guys haven't pitted yet. Kremit coming to pit road now. You're watching Tiny Horse change tires on the lower screen, and he's down and away.
Bo Ross is going to inherit the lead here.
Kremit coming down.
Justin Gibbs, fastest car as he comes back up onto the racetrack, and that number 93.
Well, Kremit goes long. Had to back up. He's going to take 4 tires, it looks like.
Bo Ross, is he going to get in there? Woo!
Oh, that's close on the cone.
Very. Gives the Taco Bell truck the lead. And DJ Trout.
Chris Finnegan right behind him.
So I'm thinking Garoni and Seidner have not pitted yet, as well as Matt Kopp possibly.
Matt Kopp coming right now.
Yeah. So the top 4 have not pitted: Trout, Finnegan, Seidner, and Garoni. Tiny Horse to the top. Ramsdale kicks him off the throne. Use the rubber while you can, right?
So, looking at a couple of the trucks, Turkle running 31.1s, DJ Trout running a 31.9, so about 0.8 of a second. Turkle's already got 10 laps on his tires. So he's making his use out of those tires, but
Tiny Horse now to the top of the chart. DJ Trout continuing to do laps.
it might be close. If he was to save and trap them all lap down, that would
Be
make his
interesting,
would make his pit stop very easy. He wouldn't have to worry about anything. He'd go in as the leader and leave as the leader.
Yep. Tiny Horse now to 30.096 fast lap.
That's fast. That's fast. DJ Trout's running 32 flats. 31.9. So he's 2 seconds faster?
Yeah. They're almost 30 seconds flat is Johnson.
So that makes me wonder if DJ Trout's trying to save, trying to learn something for the end of the race here.
Kremet now at a 30.031.
Tiny Horse and Susie bump drafted down the back straightaway. That might be a factor as to why they're so fast.
About 11 minutes till stage break.
I really wonder why these guys are staying out unless they only have limited sets of tires.
Nope, they do not.
Ryan Johnson and Susie trying to sneak past Garoni and Seidner.
He may be checking to see how far he can go on a fuel run so that he has it in his memory banks later in this race, so he knows how much he's got to top in the second half of this, because you're going to same right. They're going to have to do a pit stop on the other end as well. So
he may be planning for a green flag run on the other end if he knows he can go 50 laps or so. '61 pitting this time. There you heard it. Well, I heard it. So DJ Trout will be on pit road this time. 47 laps. Finnegan's following him.
Oh, Finnegan's sliding that sideways. Truck. Wow. Hold on.
I think he'll be getting the change of shorts with his change of tires.
As long as he can do it in less than 14 seconds.
That would be impressive, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Yeah, it would definitely. I don't know if I had mentioned this before, but I was talking to Chris Buescher when we were doing the Roush thing, and he was mentioning the fact that his pit crew was going to use the off season to completely change the way they've been doing pits in hopes of shaving off a 10th of a second.
Isn't that amazing that like, since they got nothing better to do, they're going to try to change everything.
They're going to, well, they said they have to, well, the single lug has basically changed the dynamic of how they go over the wall now.
Right, I agree. And we were starting to see that with some of the Roush teams, that they were trying to do change left side tires first before right side tires, and it makes it interesting. So with the exchange of pit stops, Joe Turkel is the new leader of the Truck Series, purely because he pitted earlier than everybody else.
Yep.
DJ Trout's running second to him.
He's eating up that time pretty. I'm watching the separation get smaller and smaller. It's like watching the opposite of a fuel tank of your the gas pump.
Right.
The way I would like it to go, not the way it goes right now.
Yeah. Turkel's dealing with some lap traffic. And you can see DJ Trout's just down the straightaway behind him.
So 103 remains. So about 8 minutes before we get that competition caution before the end of stage break. 38 starting to pull away a little bit from the 81, something we did not see in the first half of this run.
I think he's kind of testing to see what he's got, because he knows he's going to put tires are going again in about 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes. So go hard and see what it'll do.
Well, Josh, Susie, and Ryan missed a lot of races in about the mid-pack of the schedule. So, you know, they both need all the points they can get to ensure themselves making the playoffs.
How many are they taking?
I Got to get back into the rule book to ask that question.
Okay.
It's in there somewhere.
Ken, if you're sitting at home, let us know how many make the playoffs.
Ken's not sitting at home. Ken's at the church.
I see. Put Ken to work.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, we're doing, for those that may be interested, we do the Sensory Santa clause. Basically, our primary focus is on the special needs community around our church in Newark, Delaware. And that basically means that the special needs families not real good to be waiting in a line in a mall somewhere where it's really, really loud. So we set up a picture booth basically in one part of the church, and we bring families in one at a time into a quieter environment where they're not waiting in line, and we have some arts and crafts, food and such for them. We're expecting almost 200 people to come through in the 5 hours we're set up for tomorrow.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, they said you can come on down.
I have to work.
We can use all the help we can get. So Johnson and Susie, the 1-2 punch here. And then everybody else pretty far back. 5 seconds back is Kremit. And he's got Ramsdale with him.
While we were talking there, DJ Trout and Chris Finnegan. DJ Trout and Chris Finnegan freight trained Joe Turkle.
Freight trained, so all right.
I mean, 15 lap newer tires will do that.
Also notice DJ Trout has a spotter, and his spotter is none other than Mr. Keith Fonseca.
He didn't want to drive tonight?
I don't know. Maybe helping DJ Trout was more important. I'm not sure. Because they talk about that all the time, that Keith and a couple other guys, teammates of DJ Trout, are continuing to help. This is the interesting thing about this league, if you haven't heard about this before, but the whole reason Split Decision was designed into this triple threat manner was to have the top drivers in the cup cars, the coming ups in the Xfinity car, and in the new drivers in the trucks, and basically to work within teams within those systems, like a cup, a truck, and a Xfinity car in one team kind of thing, and helping each other along and up through the ranks kind of thing.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
So while we're watching these guys go around, we'll talk a little bit about the iRacing Season 1 update. A couple things I thought was pretty cool. We now have a free dirt rally course in the service. So
they re-engineered them all.
Re-engineered them all, but they left, was it Wild West on the no pay, right?
Right, yeah. That became a free track now.
Free track. So if you've ever wanted to mess with the trophy truck, the two-wheeler, right, that is free.
The two-wheel drive Pro Light is free,
yeah,
and they finally gave you the track that it belongs on. As much fun as those are on the rally course tracks, they're not the same as the full dirt road course tracks, with the big jumps and the high flying. And Wild West is a fun track. I kind of taught Harold how to drive there last year for the Roush race.
Hey. Yeah, I did pretty good until somebody who drives a 17 car had got a hold of me.
Yeah, he made your truck look like it was his car at Texas.
Hey, I was actually shocked. I was leading a race with professional race car drivers all around me.
In a car that Harold does not belong in.
Hey, I was making it work.
Everybody knows you, Harold. You're an IndyCar guy through and through.
Yeah, and well, you can see that I'm pretty good super speedways as well.
Yes.
And I can hold my own in ovals, but I favor the IndyCar. You're absolutely right.
I won't disagree with you.
I favor the IndyCar, but I can race a few things.
But you're mainly an IndyCar on an oval guy.
Oh, I love the Indies on oval, and I'm trying to get better in road racing, so we'll see how that works. And so, Miss CJ's talking about dirt's her favorite. The only issue I have with iRacing, and if they're listening, please, please, please fix the dirt so where the cushion actually works, please. And then I'll get back into racing dirt again.
So, I agree and I disagree.
The wall's not the curb, you know.
But it gives you the same effect.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
I know it's not.
It's
I get
much
it's
more
not the
abrupt. It's anybody who's actually ridden in a dirt car, and I'm not talking street stocks. I'm talking the wings and the sprints. Knows the cushion because it's a slight change in the way that rear end hits it, and then you could feel it in the car and know that you're in slot car racing, you're in the groove, you know, and then you got push that loud pedal as far as it'll go.
that is the slot. When that right rear catches in that groove against that cushion, you pick up 10th a lap.
Oh, easy. But I mean, we were talking about in your go-karts, you guys don't there's not enough movement on the dirt to get a cushion, is there? I mean, I walked the track with you, and I didn't really see one.
No, there's no cushion. The go-kart track is so hard, it lays rubber.
Right.
Like asphalt does. And you either want to be in that rubber or not in that rubber, depending on how you're set up. Because that's like open setup racing.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Not IROC-y at all. So, yeah,
No.
Definitely love the dirt. It was a lot of fun in my youth time, but figure eight was actually a thing, and then you and I have done a lot of the Irwindale with the figure eight cars, so it's fun, but I wish they had more. I'd love to see like an enduro figure eight would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. There's which track is that? That they run that? No, they run one in real life. It's like 3 hours long, and then they have the actual.
There are a lot of them. Like when I raced at Galesburg, we had an enduro 500 laps at a quarter-mile track.
Yeah, and
quarter-mile figure eight track.
Did they have the like wild-looking? It looked like an SK modified with a clear sidewall for downforce. Those things are cool.
No, these were run what you brought. Caution comes out for the stage break. But yeah, it was pretty much run what you brought, but you had to have a roll cage in it and such. But no yellows, only red flag conditions if the track ended up being clogged up. But other than that, you had to. It was interesting because you had to race around stuff. All right, so we are at the stage break. We go back to that. So our stage break here is presented by Back Row Esports. And all the drivers have now taken the caution. And probably, as you were saying earlier, we're going to probably see everybody come down, top off, and change them 4 tires.
Well, you're definitely going to see everybody come to pit road. I think the guys who know how far they can go, like DJ Trout, Chris Finnegan, they have the advantage right now. They know they can make this. I would say we're probably about 100 laps to go. Probably by the time we go green.
A little over 30 seconds, so basically go at 2 seconds a lap, or 2 laps a minute. You know, so a little bit less than that.
No, this is interesting. The truck stayed out.
All of them? Wow.
Finnegan and DJ Trout.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, they all stayed out. Joe Turkle, Kevin Garoni. I wonder if they're doing something different this week.
Maybe. And to the line, the 81 outpaces Tiny Horse. So Superman catches the inside there. Oh, they got caught by the truck, by the pace car, pace truck. They were a lap down. Yep.
They're a lap down they're a lap down overall.
Yeah, lap down to.
So they'll pit this time by. And then everybody will get their wave around for being a lap behind the leader.
Yep.
The leader of each class.
A lap behind their leader.
Here you go.
So
now we see everybody come in.
Richard Crane and Joel Brewer will get that wave around. Xavier Moore, Kopp, and Gitchell will not. But we'll see how this all works out in the end. They are doing this as they're racing because their normal race controller is not here tonight. So as you see there, they are getting the Cup cars are now caught up to the back of the pace car, and now you see that these guys are lapped down. So Crane and Brewer will be sent around the pace car to catch up to the same lap that Turkle and Trout are on, that they're a lap down. And Matt Kopp's a couple of laps back. So Garrett Seidner and Patrick Anderson will be a lap down overall, but they're fighting on the same lap with each other. So, wow, a lot of stuff going on today.
A lot to keep track of with all these lap truck cars, because
it's like short track racing.
We heard it last week. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson's trying to lap the field tonight. He's been trying to lap the field every week, but he only got up to third last week.
Yep.
He said it's a goal of his to lap the field. That's going to be hard to do.
Try to do it, is what he said. He said one day he will be able to do it. So Bo Ross has extended caution to ensure we get everybody in the right positions.
Yep, getting a couple of these guys waved around. Richard Crane, Joel Brewer, Matt Kopp, Xavier Moore. Should all get a lap. See Matt Kopp going around. Okay, we're gonna at least one more lap of pacing, it sounds like. Till we get some guys caught up.
Yep. Lights are still on the pace cars. So we got 18 drivers still connected. Looks like Gitchell, though, is in the pit lane. Has been there for quite some time. Xavier Moore has taken a fast repair. Does not look like Mr. Crane has.
Interesting.
Perhaps he thinks he might need it later.
You never know. The race has been pretty clean to this point. Never know what can happen. Wheels could fall off the bus, and we could have a big one. It is a super speedway after all.
Right. It was interesting how you had mentioned earlier, we were talking about North Wilkesboro, and they said that putting dirt on it would ruin it. You know, and that's kind of what I've thought about with Bristol, is like the going back and forth between the two has got to be putting a toll on the actual racing surface at Bristol.
The only thing I can hope for as far as that goes is that it wears that surface out for when they race on concrete. And it goes back to the way it used to be 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when you saw that bump and run right on the bottom. And I think the cars are just a little too fast at that track. They can't really get close to each other anymore.
Looks like this time we'll go. We're getting the one to go here. The 81 has the control car going up into the Geico restart zone. The new rule, as we talked about this season with iRacing, is that both the leader on the inside and the outside are being watched for speed by race control, by iRacing race control. The 81 has to fire within the restart zone, and the 38 cannot jump him until he does. If he will, he'll get a black flag. And that was kind of costly to Dylan Clark last week. There we go here. Should be coming up here to coming out of turn number 3. Pace truck should be coming out of the way, and we'll get to that Geico restart zone, see what the 81 has in store for the number 38. As the truck's off, the restart zone there in that blue. So everybody waiting until they get inside of there, and then the 81 is going to fire us up. Ways towards the end there. And man, he got a big jump on the 38 by delaying that jump, delaying the start there, Andy.
Yeah, the leader gets an advantage as far as that goes. Pretty much no matter what series of car or anything you're running, the leader's going to get that big a lead. Tiny Horse was way up the hill in 1 and 2. I don't know if that was by design or if he was just trying to save a little bit of tires. It's kind of let Kremet get caught up with him.
Looks like the trucks are directly behind, even though they're a lap down to the overall leader. They are running their own race. DJ Trout, Chris Finnegan, and Kevin Garoni all in this lead pack here with the front cars.
All tucked up there together in a line. Again, probably just biding their time a little bit. We still have about 90, 95 laps.
Well,
and we know
definitely racecraft with that, as you're talking about. Yeah, about 90 laps here, 45 times, so about left to go. We know they were about 50 laps. They wanted to get new tires. But Andy, at this point, this is what we talked about when we were teammates in a couple different races, or not really teammates, but guys on the same track, and we were kind of helping one another. And I'd be like, hey, I'm just sitting back here, and I'm going to take what they give me, but I'm not going to force anything until the final pit stop. I think we did that a lot on that Sunday Night Racing League.
I definitely would agree that that's probably the play here, at least for the guys that know because we did see DJ Trout go like 47 laps and Richard Crane go 47 laps. So we know the trucks can go that far. Mm-hmm. Will the tires last to go that far? Definitely not. You got to really ginger them for a long time. But that could be the difference of 1 pit stop versus 2 in this last stage.
Yeah, basically I would be looking, if I was them, I'm going to be trying to stretch. I'll stretch the first one a little bit longer, just because I don't know, I want to have a little bit fresher tires towards the end to make my last moves if I get them. I tend to stay out a little longer. I'm not the first one ever down pit lane, it seems, but that's just racecraft based on the driver preference. But like I said here, I would be content right where Kremet's at, just to kind of follow these guys and let them show me what they've got.
We only got the Fensel out of 4, but I definitely agree. It's kind of these 3 truck guys, as long as they're together, they need to stay together. If one of them tries to pit, you may want to pit with them just to keep them right in front of you. Yeah. Because we did see the earlier you pit, the bigger lead you'll get afterwards, but it might not matter if the guy behind you is on 10-lap newer tires. He'll just drive right up and drive by you.
You see if there's an advantage if they can go. If they say they can go 50 laps, they could technically go the distance and then basically reduce the amount of fuel if that's feasible, if it's possible, and get just only enough in the car to cut their pit lane time down a little bit and lighten the car up some.
True. Sometimes that makes the car not handle the same, though.
Right.
When you put them brand new tires on. Tiny Horse to the apron for the lead. Couldn't quite get it done going into 1 there. So is this a product of where the bottom of the racetrack is now starting to rubber up? You can see the black developing there in the bottom groove. Is that going to make the car not handle as well?
It looks to me that like Josh has now. Looks like he's late apexing. You watch how where Josh is hitting that corner. Look how late he gets to the yellow line, almost on exit of turn 2. So I will keep an eye on that. It looks like Tiny Horse for some. I mean, watching him in all the races that I've had him, I've always seen him as getting to. He's a more aggressive entry, and Susie's really trying to make that car hook up on exit. Keep him, and that's where you got to go speed out. Was his slow in, fast out
all the time. That's always what you want to try to be. You want to kind of try to balance the entry and exit. I very much struggle with this on iRacing, where I drive into the corner too hard, and it costs me coming off the corner. I feel like that's easier when you run up the racetrack a bit.
I say if you enter in higher, you can make that apex further and further down the corner.
Right, or even if you're just running the outside lane at a track like Homestead, where you're running the outside, you got to lift earlier.
Yep. But you could definitely put power down a lot earlier than the guy on the inside can.
Right. And that's kind of more evident on saving tires and pass for the lead in the trucks, fitting into the lead in front of DJ Trout.
Like now, this time the 38's trying to pinch Josh down. He's going to drive it deep in that mid lane. Right
now he's running the top of that black part of the racetrack. Gonna stay even.
Yeah, he had the speed off the corner, but he's gonna basically have to give it away here going into the turn. Yeah, 1 and 2 seems to be stronger for that outside line, that mid group, but not 3 and 4. Keep an eye on it here.
Sir Kremet does not know where to go. He wants to go, but he doesn't know where to go. Looks like the 81 might have got a little loose down there by the apron, pushed up. It's going to give an advantage to the 38 down the back straightaway. Not quite clear. Ooh, maybe a little contact.
Spotter's like, go ahead, all day.
Hey, not quite, but
38 is better in 1 and 2. The 81 in 3 and 4. 81's being harassed now by Kremet.
Kremet's going to be the faster car right now because these guys, he has the entire racetrack to play with, whereas these two guys keep swapping sides and they're constantly got a car next to them. So Kremet's going to build that advantage with the draft and having whatever lane he wants to run. I'm not sure if Kremet's just sitting here learning from these two and he really has enough to pass them. Or if he's just
he's hanging, I think, because he's actually won a race watching these two take each other out. And it's what happened at Dover earlier in the season. The 81 and the 38 hit each other on the backstretch. The 97 drives on by. Caution comes out. The 97 is the race leader and wins the race. So, I mean, it has happened.
Well, we saw them get together last week. And you almost saw them get together going into 3 a couple laps ago, and they're right back to each other's bumpers again.
He said, like, the competition level between these two, you know they're going to be there side by side with one another. There's not a lot of difference between their skill of the two drivers, so they're always going to find one another on the racetrack.
Wow. DJ Trout had a nose to the outside of Finnegan slammed the door down the back straightaway.
All right, so you got that. I'm going to go back down to Garrett Seidner in the number 50 Cook out car. Hey, he is about 3 seconds ahead of Mr. Anderson. Those are our 2 Xfinity drivers that are racing 1-2 right now, and then the last one here is about a lap behind them is Matt Kopp in the 22. We run down there the Xfinity cars.
Garrett Seidner has checked out again. Susie and Tiny Horse taking a break from battling.
There's Ramsdale and Clark behind them fighting for position. And Justin Gibbs right behind those guys.
This track is posing to be very hard to pass. So I guess, like I said before, if you get a run, you almost got to take it and try to slide up in front of them or just clear them to take his spot away, just so you have another chance at the next guy. Lap truck doesn't know where to go.
He stayed in the bottom groove. I think Susie was expecting him to go to the high side. Gets around him clean. He continues to stay low of the 18. But now the 1-2 are starting to stretch that gap out between them and Krimet.
And that's all that took. One miscue, and it spread out those front 5 cars. These two will work together and drive away till the pit stop and go back to race each other again, probably.
Been racing for about a little over 10 minutes now since the competition caution. Took us a little while to get everybody on the right lap.
They've been about 25 laps since they've pitted. And so we know the trucks can go about 25 more. We don't really know how far the cup cars can go.
Yeah, they really didn't push it.
They pitted, they split that first stage in half.
Which I expect them to do the same here. So I'd say between 20, but we're looking at the 23 to go mark, somewhere in that vicinity. So about another 12 minutes. Then they can get there?
They should be able to make it that far. That should be about the limit of what they can run. That could force them to pit twice. Could be a fuel mileage race at the end of this. We might see the trucks win this race overall just because they can go a little further, it seems. Didn't think about that.
Well, they need to get a lap. They got to make up a lap first.
If the leaders run out of gas, it's real easy to make up a lap if they're out of gas.
True that.
It takes a long time for the tow truck to pick these race cars up.
Yep.
Especially them next gens. Need a crane for them things.
Especially if they're down a tire.
Or 2.
And down 1, they're already scraping the car to the ground. That is something that they were taught in the NASCAR about. We'll be talking about the off season is about how the low profile, like the low wall of the Cup Series car, when they do go flat, the car there's no clearance, and so
you're stuck,
and you're not gonna be able to get back to pit road even to change out a tire. So.
And if they do, it takes them so long to get back because they're getting towed. They lose so many laps.
Mm-hmm. So 33 to go here. Josh, Susie, and Tiny Horse. Kremit's kind of lurking back there just outside of the view here. About 8 or 9 car lengths behind him. Interesting, I see Dylan Clark already back 1.6 seconds behind Kremet, so about 2.5 seconds off the leader.
Yeah, he's finally worked his way up into that 4th position. We saw him racing with Justin Gibbs for a few laps. The trucks are starting to get spread out. Chris Finnegan leading and then DJ Trout running second. He's there, but he's not Not as close as he was.
Good thing that the pitch black car is not perfectly pitch black. Otherwise, the 81 wouldn't know who was behind him. Like a black hole right behind the 81.
You saying it's like camouflage?
Well,
Just disappears?
it was truly black, like, you know, pitch black, it'd just be this big nothing.
Right. Right. It'd be the void. It'd be the void following around.
Yeah.
Like one of them cartoon circles you draw on the ground.
It goes like a manhole cover. And yeah.
Yeah, and then you just pick it up and throw it away.
Yeah. All right, looking to get around Mr. Chip Kelly. Joel Brewer. See the 81 and 38 continue to pacing around here. 31 and a half to go. And Bo Ross just got around Jeff Ramsdale.
81 and a half. 31 and a half.
Yeah, 31 and a half to go.
Whatever reason I heard 81.
31. So the 81 is leading with 31 to go. Somebody messing my teleprompter over here. So, all right, but that's kind of doesn't change anything. But as I said, Bo Ross did get around the 7 of Jeff Ramsdale. Matt Kopp on pit lane, now been there about 4.5 minutes. Two and a half seconds between Seidner and Patrick Anderson in the Xfinity Series. DJ Trout, as you see in there in that bottom. Actually, you got a Garrett on that bottom now. But
Yep.
DJ Trout and Chris Finnegan are about 7/10 apart here.
I'll jump back to that. Chris Finnegan was starting to build a gap on DJ Trout. They both put a gap on Joe Turkel. But again, it's a matter of what's your strategy here.
Yep.
Do you go long? Do you go short? Do you run it out of gas and try to put less fuel in for the finish?
All the above.
That's kind of how I feel too. Go till it almost runs out, but you can make it on one stop.
See, this is why in endurance racing I have somebody telling me. I drive.
Yeah.
I drive the car. Ooh, 38 into the wall off the corner. A little bit of smoke.
Endurance racing, Harold just go. I wait for Bob to go. All right, next lap. Go one more. This lap.
I said I go by who's talking to me. I'm like somebody make a decision because like I'm gonna bring it in when you tell me to. Now that's what they did say also with season 1 that they're gonna change the tire model and because they weren't happy with all the double triple stinting we've been doing.
We quad stinted the one set.
Yeah.
And so, they don't like that. They made the car. So what I've read, the BMW, which is the car we're gonna run, is 800 pounds heavier.
Wow.
And has a skinnier tire. So instead of like a 265, it's kind of more like your average street car. It's like a 245 or something. So they're trying to make the cars not handle good. They're trying to make us burn the tires up and pit.
I wonder how that's going to affect the handling on it.
And I'm going to try to prove them wrong. We're going to still try to double stint tires. But I think we can still double stint tires. With the group of guys that we have, I think we can double stint tires.
But you also got to look at what the advantage, though, you know.
True.
Because, yeah, you can still probably do it, but is the fall off going to be that great that you're not gaining anything by not changing out the tires? They're also saying that they made the pit stops faster so you can take tires. Because they're saying, I guess it was you fueled and then you tired. You couldn't do them both. Now they change it where you can do both like you do in NASCAR. Into the wall again is the 38.
Right. So either way, you're going to have to sit and wait for your driver swap, which takes about 35 to 45 seconds.
Yeah, you might as well get tires in.
Yeah, definitely on those. But the question is those ones where you're not switching drivers.
Right.
If it makes sense. So the 38 running out of rear tires, it sounds like.
I bet he hit the wall a couple times. And they're getting to that point. I said 23 and a half to go. So
42
4
laps.
minutes. 4 minutes.
42 laps on the tires.
Yeah, that'll put
Richard
him right
Crane
at
and
50.
Xavier Moore. Richard Crane and Xavier Moore have already pitted.
Okay.
They're not really showing anything where they're way faster or anything like that.
Xavier Moore is down many laps, so
This pit stop's going to be huge because you'll gain a bunch of time just by being the first car on pit road, but you only want to beat them by 1 lap. So Tiny Horse wants to short pit Susie by 1 lap, and then he'll make up that ground that he's lost. Same with DJ Trout. He'll want to pick up 1 spot on him, pick up like 4 seconds or whatever. And it's just a matter of how fast you get to pit road and how fast you get off pit road, especially having used the access road in 1 and 2.
Yeah, so my calculations put us about 3 minutes away from green flag pit stops.
And that's to make it a 1 stop, correct?
Right.
It's going to be close.
I put it right around 49 laps complete. About 2 minutes, so just shy of 4 more laps. So 49 and 50, right where I was guessing at. So we'll see.
It's. I think it's gonna be tight on field at the end of this race.
If I Larry McReynolds it right.
If you Larry McReynolds it right, we'd have a yellow. And we don't want that in the middle of green flag pit stops.
Actually, these guys, the second half of the races have been generally clean. As you see, the 81 lapping the Xfinity Series car, the number 50.
Joel Brewer to the apron early to come to pit road, not being very aggressive. This may start bringing guys to pit road, though, as soon as they see 1 guard at pit road.
A little early, about a minute earlier than I expected, so I'm thinking the 81 will go a couple more laps. As you were saying, you might see Tiny Horse come down 1 before that. Keep an eye on here, Garoni in the 81. Yeah, Tiny Horse now back 1.8 seconds to the race leader. He's just going another lap here, so to go to that 23 and a half, as I was saying, they should be able to make it to the end of the 1 stop. Jeff Ramsdale coming down this lane this time. So pits are
4 tires
busy.
of fuel.
Pack it full. No overtime in split decisions.
Here we go. Joe Turkle with a hot entry.
Turkle, the first of the trucks to come down. The truck leaders, I should say. And Susie goes another lap, more than I expected him to go. Who's the first one to come down amongst the Cup leaders is the question. 2.5 seconds now the race lead to Johnson.
Baroni on pit road, 4 tires. 4 tires for Turkle.
Because these Cup guys can go a lot more than 50 because there's no sign of stopping the 81.
And like you said, go as far as you can. That way the last run is shorter.
Yep. Had more good in the good years.
Now with our the app we're using, it's guessing 172 laps, which is about 52 more laps based on the amount of time we have and the race pace is going.
Oh, yeah, how much is remaining?
So
Yeah.
based on that, we may
Oh, they get
We're
there.
right, it's gonna be close, I think.
No, they're at 52 laps right now. Ryan Johnson down. I think they're right on the pit window. Like if using if you're using Dre,
The amount of time and that stuff, yeah.
DRE, digital race engineer, he's going. If pit window is open, you can come next lap.
Leader to pit road.
81. A little kind of a hiccup on that entry.
Okay, they went through each other. The 38 to pit road, 61 to pit road. Now see, this is going to give the 38. This is going to give Tiny Horse that advantage. He pitted a lap before. Pitted a lap before our leader, Susie. So that should give him an advantage.
Kramer's going to push it a little bit further. 53 laps so far. We got him, Clark, and Gibbs. Top three here.
And they got it. I get this strategy. If they feel like they need to do something different to give themselves a shot, that's what you got to do. Now, here it is again. Finnegan pitted this lap. DJ Trout pitted the lap before. You're going to see Finnegan or DJ Trout come flying past in the exit of turn 2. Here it is.
Can you verify that Susie pitted in his box? I'm showing no box time.
Susie leaving pit road right now.
Yeah, but I didn't see him in a pit stall.
Well, I can go back.
I'm just looking at pit time, so Patrick Anderson coming in. 97's coming in. Gibbs stays
Susie
out.
to pit road. Susie to his pit box.
Yep, he's there. Cool.
Right side's getting changed.
There's another one of those one of those weird things that in the system. So
Left side's getting changed. So 4 tires. Back to live. We're here in Sidner coming to pit road.
Kremet down pit lane now. So Gibbs, your race leader, he's coming down this time. 36 in the grass. So Susie, your race leader, though. But Johnson,
Not yet.
Tiny
Not yet.
Horse.
Gibbs still.
He will be because he's down pit lane right now. Yeah, something happened to Tiny Horse Johnson. 54 and a half seconds in his pit stall.
He's now a lap down too.
Basically spent an entire lap in his pit box.
He might have fixed all that damage.
Maybe. He also took a fast repair, so not sure. So the 81 all by himself now is the race leader. Dylan Clark behind him by 7.5 seconds.
So heartbreak for Tiny Horse. Not sure.
So maybe he doesn't want to be in the power ranking.
Maybe.
But in the power ranking and this happens, he was like fighting for something until he got on it, right? So Tiny Horse from basically top 2 to the bottom in one pit stop.
He's on pit road again.
Ooh. I wonder if he just says the heck with it.
He might have got a penalty.
I'm not seeing the penalty.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe they said he's like, I'm that far back. I'm done.
He's going to his pit box again.
Wow. He didn't quite make it.
Putting tires on now.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Yeah, he said, I'm done. Had a very frustrating time for Mr. Tiny Horse today.
All right. DJ Trout and Chris Finnegan flipped positions by about that much. So 1 lap prior, he jumped 2 seconds, from 2 seconds back to a second ahead.
Yeah, CJ, that it happens. I mean, you spent all that time in the front, and when bad pit stop really gets you in a not so fun mood. And I said, the younger people to this game, they just need to be happy that they got rid of all the random hiccups that the NASCAR 2003 had built into it. like the a lug wrench got hung up. You hear your picker go, "Oh man, we dropped the lug." You know, you're like, "What?"
You're not gonna lie. I wish that was still in here. I wish that was a setting we could turn on.
It was like a random thing, and it was nuts. It's just weird things would happen, and you'd be like, you know, riding for a pit stop to win the race, and get stuck back for the extra second or two. Yeah. It was pretty much the lug nut and the lug wrench got jammed. I think were the only two that they would say, and we even had random engine failures as well.
Fun.
And you can explode a tire, which I've yet to see in this.
No, they just wear out on this, and then the car doesn't turn anymore.
Like you would detonate a tire, and I mean, it was. I used to detonate tires in Texas and Chicagoland all the time.
Can we make that a setting we could turn on? That would make league racing interesting.
Oh, yeah. Run them things to where there's cords coming out of them, big old bubbles. It's where you see the guys that have been around for a while in qualifying or in practice. They'll basically run the car into the wall to blow up the engine, because there's a superstition that's how you reset the random failure by doing that.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why we would do it. So
my Discord's back.
Your Discord's back.
Yeah, it disappeared.
Disappeared. Huh. So 15 and a half to go with Mr. Josh Susi in the lead. I don't remember if I actually had Josh as a winner at all this year. Go back. Let's go ahead and
I don't remember.
I'm going to check it out here. Go back to our points here. I know he has not. He's got stage wins, but he has no actual overall wins. So Vesley, I'm sure he's waiting for the first win here for the season.
And he changed his paint scheme too. He's been running the Flames the last few weeks. Maybe a new paint scheme, new energy.
So with Susi's lead, he does not want to see the yellow hanky come out, does he?
No. 14 minutes left, so you got 7 till the hanky gets thrown out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And he's happy to see and hear that everybody is spread out. There's not much cars together. We wish there was some more cars together, but...
Well, Kremet and Clark are together for the second place.
Yeah, DJ Trout and Finnegan are close.
And Kremet is 0.146 behind Clark. I'm going to jump to that while Susi's leading this thing. So they're basically nose to tail here.
You see in the rearview mirror of Finnegan and DJ Trout.
Gobbling them up there. He's about what was that, about 4/10 faster?
4/10 faster a lap. And that'll put the trucks 2 laps down as a whole class.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect this.
Nope.
The fall off on the truck seems to be much greater than the fall off on the next gens.
which is unusual. Figured it was the other way around, but yeah.
Well, that Susie guy built some good setups this week, apparently.
Yep. I believe that's Cody checking in on Twitch. Finoid. I take it that means Sharp is done streaming for tonight. Sharpie streams too.
Yep.
So Susie now behind the 174. I mean, all over the back deck. He's like, "Excuse me, sir. I have a race to get to the front for. You're holding up the progress." He said no. Finoid says no. No, oh no.
Now this faster car of Susie sneaking through has brought Finnegan to the tailgate of DJ Trout.
$11 to go.
We have a battle to go, a battle for the lead in the truck series, anyways.
Yep.
This could heat up.
Battle
11 to go, so
second as well.
11 to go, so 20-ish laps.
Maybe about 20. Okay, so Joel Brewer will be at 45 laps at that point.
Steidner has no competition anywhere near him. It's got about 4 seconds over Patrick Anderson.
Yep. Just under 10 minutes to go now.
So, Steidner's in another zip code tonight.
So is Susie.
No, he wasn't. Now he is.
Mm-hmm. At least on the other straightaway before the other guys are.
Wow. He had that horse chasing him for a while.
Yep. So 9.5. Couple minutes before the race controller can take a break and wait.
Yeah, there'll be only 2 more flags we got to worry about, the white one and the checkered one.
Got 9 to go. So the only race going on right now is we got on the bottom screen there, DJ Trout and Finnegan. And now Clark and Kremet. About a couple car lengths between the two of them for the second.
So, yes, Finoid. Xfinity are the other 2 cars. There's only a few of them tonight with Garrett Seidner and Patrick Anderson. Well, Matt Kopp looks like he's parked his car.
Yeah, he's out, disconnected. So, yep. So the only 2 left, Seidner and Anderson, the 50 and the number 99. Everything else is a cup or a truck. There was the end of year schedule issues. It looks like to me. You know, all leagues run to this, especially those that have a playoff system. Towards the end, when it really doesn't matter, guys take provisionals or they don't come in.
Two different lines being run with the trucks. You can see where DJ gets to the bottom and Chris kind of stays in that upper groove.
So Kansas will be the next race and the last regular season race.
And that's the first week of January?
No, next week.
Next week.
Yep, next week.
So that'll be the 17th.
Yes. Oh, no, 16th.
16th.
Yep, it's the 9th today, so 16th.
I'm all screwed up this week.
So after the regular season, a chase-style playoff will begin for each class.
Oh! Credit hit the wall.
The top 8 drivers in points will each make the chase, and wins do not guarantee you a chase spot. Champions determined by most points after the final race. All chasers are reset to 2,000. So basically, at the end of Kansas, they'll take the top 8 drivers regardless of wins in each series to the playoffs and reset their points to 2,000, and then they will have the several races. I think that's 4 or 5 at that point. I'll look at it again. Let's see here. They'll have 5 races: Indy, New Hampshire, Glen, Talladega, and Charlotte in the chase. So those 5, so basically the points restart there for the final 5 races to determine a champion in each class. So kind of shave them in half, because I think all the series have 15 drivers in them. So you take 8, so you take the top half basically into the playoffs.
Okay. We kind of caught a glimpse. The 2 battles on the racetrack, the battle for second in the cup and the battle for the lead in the trucks, kind of ran into each other.
Uh-oh.
Saw the 97 get in the wall coming out of turn 4, and it kind of separated the trucks and the cup cars.
The trucks are still...
The trucks are coming back to each other now. It looks like Chris Finnegan is a little faster than DJ Trout. As we approach the 5-minute mark.
Yep, so no more cautions to the end here.
But I'm not sure Kremet has anything for Clark now.
Kind of washed him up a little, huh?
I think it was just dirty air.
Xavier Moore down pit lane, looks like.
Those Bo Ross and Jeff Ramsdale. May have made some contact.
So 3.5 to 81 all by himself. 5.8 ahead of Dylan Clark and Kremet. DJ Trout about 0.8 ahead of Finnegan, and then Garoni way back behind them. Garrett Seidner looks like 13 seconds ahead of Patrick Anderson. So basically spread out around the whole racetrack are our leaders and the second place cars. Susie looking for his first race win of the season. DJ Trout has multiple wins, and so does Garrett Seidner. I don't think Finnegan has any wins yet this season.
Finnegan's gonna have to dig deep. He's a little faster than DJ the last lap, but not fast enough. Now Finnegan's gone the other way, and he's about a half second slower. So for that being our closest battle, it's not that close anymore.
2.5 remain.
So under 5 to go. Well, right at 5 to go.
Yeah.
I don't believe fuel's going to be an issue because they went a lot further than this in the first part of this run.
Unless somebody shorted the fuel tank.
Our crew chief be getting a talking to if he shorted it by this much.
Well, 4 tires and full fuel is usually about the same. Don't really shave much time if you're gonna give all 4 tires. Possibly if you only take 1.5 cans, but I wouldn't risk it if it's close. But so 1.5 here. Once the time expires, the next time the overall leader hits the stripe, the checker flag will come out. Yes.
Yes, Benoit, this is IMSA for NASCAR.
Exactly.
All
IMSA
3
for
series
NASCAR
on the track
at
at the same time. Yep.
Yep. And they do road courses. They will have Watkins Glen in their playoff picture in, I believe, in January. And yeah, they don't do cautions for the road races, but they do the stage break for road courses.
Should be coming to the white flag.
Yeah,
10 seconds left.
Should be the white flag here. The white flag lap. It'll come up on my screen at the zeros, so there it is, the final lap. Went out of turn number 2 is the 81.
And he can coast from here.
As long as he lets Garrett go stay in front of him, Garrett will actually get to go another whole lap. So there's that one. So DJ now.
That'll give Garrett the white flag.
So DJ Trout looking to get his win here as he comes down and he gets the win. Garrett off the final set of corners here now. Coming off of turn number 4 is Garrett, and he'll get win number 11, I believe.
11 or 12, whichever one it is.
Whichever one it is.
We've lost count.
So it's 11. It would be number 11. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get the results real quick here. Knock it in here. So out of the Cup Series, there it is. Susie, Clark, Kremet, Gibbs, Ross, Ramsdale, Johnson cuts out early. Gitchell, no, they really was on the track at all tonight. In our really small field, Seidner, Anderson, and Kopp. And then our trucks tonight, Trout, Finnegan, Garoni, Turkle, Brewer, Crane, Moore, and Wysocki. So that's pretty much everybody tonight. We got Susie and the 3 winners all here, and Susie being his first win of the season. DJ Trout, multiple wins, and we now know Garrett Seidner has 11 on the season. And these guys burn it down here. Just looking for one more driver. There goes an engine.
That would be Garrett. DC making a Polish victory lap.
Yep, it's not the Polish though that Tiny Horse is famous for. Backwards.
Yeah, a reverse backwards lap.
Backwards, yes. All right, so let's get with a few people. So first of all, I'm going to bring in Justin Gibbs into the booth. He is tonight's sponsor. We talked about it earlier, Justin, that you're giving away prize money in the form of donations. You want to talk about that for us?
Yeah, no problem. It's just something I like to do every year around this time of year. I think it's important to give back to some of these charities. So I decided why not to let some of these guys help me decide where we placed it this year. So for each class winner, I will be depositing or donating $50 to their veterans or first responders charity of choosing.
All right. Well, we're going to pull up the first guy then, and you can ask him that question. So bring it up, Josh. Josh Susi. Man, it's been a while. I don't think we talked to you this whole year yet.
Finally.
The guy that sets the cars up, I thought you'd get a few more of these things in. But you got one.
Yeah, well, there ain't no bias in that, so I got to earn them just like anyone else.
Yeah. So tonight we have Gibbs in here, and he is giving you the opportunity to choose a charity to give $50 to on your behalf.
Yeah, I told him we're going to go ahead and send that to Nine Line.
Nine Line. Okay, cool. Nine Line for Josh Susi. And Josh, we're going to have to give you this whole rundown thing. So what we do is we talk to the drivers, we talk about their sponsor stuff, and this is the time that you get to tell us about who helps you get the car into victory lane.
Just everyone here at TSM, man. Great team atmosphere. My personal sponsor, Nitro Racing, and all the fellow admins that help me and take care of everything behind the scenes that people aren't quite aware of, and all the hard work that goes on there. A big shout out to them. There's not enough recognition, even if they get shouted out 24/7 every day. It's a thankless job. So I know how that is, but I want to say Bo and Tyler and all the other admins, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing great. And unfortunately, we weren't able to have a race control here tonight, but when he is here, he's able to do the best that he's able to do. So it's nice to actually be in the cockpit here, putting on a show for you instead of sitting up in that blimp and waiting for things to happen. And of course, you guys, 100% coming on board, broadcasting all season for us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, last season you elected to be race control and out of the cockpit, so this actually probably feels real good. So 2 seasons, this is the first time with a checkered flag in your hand.
Yeah, it was the season before that, actually. We were maybe a third of the way through, and I'd just come off winning 3 in a row, and we were just having so many issues that we needed that set of eyes up in the sky, and we couldn't find anybody. So I decided to take a bullet for the league and the team and do it. So I did that for a year and a half, and I was like, man, I miss it so much. I know all the drivers we have in this league and how competitive it is, especially when we were getting the preseason stuff taken care of and looking at the fields and how stacked they're going to be by each class. It's like, I got to be a part of this.
All right. So next week is the final regular season race at Kansas, and then with a 2-week break and then come back into the playoffs. With this win, I mean, it wasn't a winning to get in system, but I'm sure it makes you feel a lot better that you're firing on all cylinders at this time of the season.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's all about bonus points right now, right? Because we have no eliminations when it comes to those final 5 races. So we have the 1 reset at the end of the regular season, and then whatever bonus points you acquired throughout the regular season is what you start with. So, I mean, it's mission, get every single bonus point you can get right now to try to get as big of an advantage as you could possibly get. And then it's a 5 race straight up. Whoever scores the most points gets it. So every point counts right now. I think I've lost a race here just about every single way you can possibly lose a race. And I was starting to get a sinking feeling in the stage one after we pit and Ryan get out in front of me again, like he'd done before, and I just couldn't get around him again, like what's happened before. And I'm just like, man, I'm having bad flashbacks here. I got to figure something out. So I can't lose to Ryan again after I show him how to run around a track for, a fuel stint, and then he takes the lessons and puts it on me. So I just I hate to see whatever happened to him. I'm not sure if he sped or what the deal was, but it was definitely shaking up to be another classic Susie and Johnson race. But however you can get it, I'll take it.
All right, so we'll let you get going back to victory lane. Gibbs, you got anything for him?
Oh, man, congratulations. It's been a long time coming. You're fast week in, week out. I race with you as your teammate and against you as a competitor, and I wish you were a little bit slower sometimes, bro, but congratulations. You earned it tonight, no doubt.
Hey, rising tides lifts all ships, right?
Right? Congratulations.
Thanks, bud.
All right, we're going to move on now to a guy, a unprecedented Gibbs. This guy has won 11 races in a single season. I'm going to bring him in here. Garrett Seidner, man, 11 of the 14 races have a checkered flag in your hands. Small field tonight, but nonetheless, still checkered flags for you. And tonight, Gibbs is giving you the opportunity to select a charity for $50 in your name.
Yeah. Great opportunity. I'd like to thank Justin for stepping up and allowing us to do this for the winners tonight. And I don't have a direct name off the top of my head right now, but I know me and my parents' company do a lot of things for many different charities around the world. One in Uganda and some locally. But for sure, I should have came up with or had something set in stone coming up here, but I do not at the moment. But I will get that in for Justin. I'd like to thank him for that as well.
He's up here with us. So, Justin, what do you think of this young man? 50, the cookout car puts himself 11 races in victory lane.
The guy's a freak. There's no way to put it other than straight up freak. He's another one of my teammates. I have so much fun racing with Garrett. It's a lot of fun on chat. We had about 30 or 40 minutes of Cartman voices going tonight over chat while we were having a good time. The guy is fast. Everybody in the Cup field needs to be ready next year because this guy's coming and he's gonna be there every week.
So before I let you get to your sponsors, hey, Andy, what did you think about our 50? I mean, you came in with us, helping us out about mid-pack of the season. But, man, every week in, week out, Garrett Seidner is either the class of the field, and I think you said something like if he's either the class of the field or he's going to struggle the track.
He's either first or last. First or last every week. I mean, I think he's won every race since I've been here. You got a new paint scheme this week with Cookout. I know we talked about it last week in Victory Lane. You got another new one for next week?
Actually, we do have a new scheme for next week. We're going to be bringing on United Rentals for Kansas. So, first time that'll hit the track this season. Hoping to do the same thing we did with the Cookout car tonight and put it back in Victory Lane.
Well, keep up the good work. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I'll run through the list of they hear it every week, but beautiful car by Games 123 and Ray Tustin, John Peterson, Turtle Shells Motorsports, and those guys, the Forest Glory Art and Photography staff, and all the other sponsors I had on the car this season, such as Subway, and yeah, happy for another one.
All right. So as you said, Kansas next week, then a 2-week break to go into the playoffs. We'll be talking to you soon, I'm sure. All right, Garrett, let's get back to celebration.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And then last, but not definitely least, is Mr. DJ Trout in the Taco Bell. We'll bring him in. Hey, DJ, man, you got another win here in the Taco Bell. Liv Moss. Justin Gibbs putting $50 to the charity of your choice in your name. So, what are you going to give to us for tonight?
Sorry, please repeat the question.
What was that?
Please repeat the question.
So, Justin, go ahead and say it probably better than I did.
DJ, for each class winner, I'm giving a $50 donation to the Veterans or First Responders charity of each class winner's choice. So you get to choose where we donate $50 tonight.
To be honest, I have no clue of any charities. So just you choose a random one that you want to give it to.
I can handle that, no problem. I'm a big Wounded Warrior Project fan. That's who I was running tonight, so I can do that.
All right.
Awesome.
So, DJ, man, you put the Taco Bell back into victory lane again. So I'm sure you're already starting to look forward to the season break and then back to playoffs. So what does this do for your guys' chances to get to the Truck Series Championship this year?
Honestly, I really don't know what kind of I don't really know what this does, but as far as this race, it gave me a perspective on where I'm better and where a lot of the other truck guys are better at this kind of stuff. But as far as the championship goes, we'll see once you get there. And kind of wish that we don't have a 2-week break, but yeah, I don't know. This is going to be, yeah, I don't know any of the questions right now.
Okay, like I said, we got Kansas next week, then we got 2 weeks breaks, then the Indies starting the postseason in January. But, you know, I saw that you had Mr. Fonseca helping you out in the spotting tonight. So did that help you at all, or you know, just keep you cool? Because I know Andy, who helps me here in broadcasting, tends to be one of the guys that spots for me when we do the endurance racing. And sometimes just having somebody in your ear going, okay, look, you've got plenty of time to change your entries, you know, not to cook the cars off or not to, you know, use up too much gas.
Yeah, Keith definitely helped me stay calm mentally. I'm a person who looks in the mirror every single time I'm leading, looks at my relative. He's like, don't worry about it. Look up front. And I'm looking out back for you. So he definitely helped keep me calm in that aspect of everything. And because of Keith, actually, is why I won the race. So big thanks to Keith Fonseca.
Don't sell yourself short there, man. You got a lot of talent. Truck class better be watching it in the playoffs.
Yep. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I said, it's always good to have a spotter. I mean, like I said, Andy's helped me many times. Something will happen, and I'll get hooked up on just what just happened, and then he'll remind me, man, you got 100 laps to go, dude. You need to just relax and do your race, and I think that helps out. And you got a lot of raw talent, man, so keep working with it, and I know we'll continue to talk to you. We've talked to you several times this season.
Thank you.
But DJ, we'll definitely probably talk to you again next week at Kansas. And Andy, you got anything for DJ? For DJ?
Not really. He's winning everything. He had a tight battle there at the end with Finnegan, and I guess Finnegan eventually burned his stuff up, and you did a great job saving tires. And then that early decision in that first run to go long, I think helped you learn and us learn how long the tires and fuel would actually go. So I thank you for that. You were one of the only ones to go that long. We were up here guessing at how long you guys could go.
Yeah, not very long. I think about 35 minutes, or no, 30 minutes on a tank of gas and on tires until it really started to feel terrible.
All right.
But yeah.
All right, DJ, we'll let you get back, and we'll take care of you. You have a good day. Yeah.
Is it?
All right, so Andy, we got Justin. So Justin, man, you picked Nashville Superspeedway to sponsor. You got these 3 different $50 donations going out to the first responders. I said with a Wounded Warrior 9 line, and then your teammate needs to get you back with the other one. But all in all, man, I saw you out there tonight. You moved up a little bit. You tend to be Ken, and Ken's not with us tonight. He was too busy at the church. One of us had to be there, so he was there. But Justin, he always loves your Mobile One car.
I get a kick out of going back and watching and seeing specifically what he thinks of it, because I change it up a lot. Yeah, so it's always fun to keep him looking at it.
He definitely loves the Pegasus on the Mobile One car. So Andy likes to paint a lot as well. So he's done all my race cars for probably the last 3 years. So he knows about what it takes for the spec maps and stuff. And I think it looks a really good job that you've been doing with your guys. Appreciate you coming up and talking to us about the racing tonight for I'll pull up the events last night. I'll mess it up for you. The Real Heroes 90 that was presented by the 93 car, which is your car, of Mr. Justin Gibbs.
Oh, thanks, guys. I love your broadcasts. I can't wait to sit back and relax and watch it. It was a hard race tonight. It's hard racing with these guys every week. It is unbelievably good competition, and it's just so much fun. I can't wait till next week.
Right, definitely. So, we'll kicked off that little event slider, and you're talking a little bit about your car. Like you just said, you have the Wounded Warrior on the machine there. As we see, I could get that where we can see the front. So, there we go. The Wounded Warrior project there on the 93 Mobile for Ken. He was riding the red Pegasus tonight with the Wounded Warrior on the front, so he'll get a kick out of that. But hey, just like everybody else, man, if you guys started in your camp started to look forward to the postseason, or does Kansas still hold a possibility of hurting something or changing the outcome?
No, I think a lot of what it is locked. I mean, I'm going to be second probably in points after tonight, and one race isn't going to change that very much. So it's more about the bonus points at this point. Definitely trying to get ready for the playoffs. It's going to take every ounce of driving I can to run with these guys and give them a shot, but I'm going to try every bit I can. These guys are good. They're very good.
All right. So night racing at Kansas next week, and Into Being is the sponsor for that one. And then we have in the 2 weeks off, and then Indy will be coming up. So definitely gonna be changing up the styles. I find it very interesting that the admins chose to put a road course and a super speedway in the playoffs. So definitely throwing you guys not one curveball but two.
I was one of the ones that voted for the road course in the playoffs. I love road course racing, and I think a champion should be able to do it all. So I think the road course is great.
Definitely looking like you guys are going to be doing it all. Kind of looking at the races we got. So you got a Indy, which is its own uniqueness. New Hampshire, so Loudon is definitely a short, flat track. Watkins Glen, Talladega is the big wild card, and then finishing up at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So definitely a little bit of everything in that package.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Charlotte. It's one of my very favorite tracks. Hopefully, I'm in the contention. When we get that far along, but one race at a time.
All right, Justin, we'll let you get going. Thanks for coming back up here talking to us about the charities and what you guys have been doing over here with your team.
Oh, great. Have a great night, guys. Really appreciate you.
All right, thanks. So, Andy, that pretty much rolls up everything here. We have basically the race summary to talk about. There it is, the Merit Double Trouble for the Real Heroes 90. Josh Susi wins the race first. And he said about almost 2-year time period. We had the one stage break, and that's it for cautions, and 20 drivers. And Tiny Horse was the fastest car. And even Josh Susi says he's not sure what happened to that car.
We saw it get in the wall a couple times, and then we know he took his fast repair. But as he said, the assumption would be speeding on entry or speeding on exit, because we did see him come back down and then disconnect.
Yeah, it was barely a tough race for him. But, I agree with what Gibbs was saying. Pretty much not there's not much that can change between now and January as far as who's in. But as Josh Susie was saying, every bonus point helps pad that lead going into the final 5. And as you heard me just talk, we've got a little bit of everything, man. Indy, Loudon, Talladega, Glen, and Charlotte. It's like none of those tracks are uniquely different, all 5.
I think the only thing missing is an old school short track like Bristol or something like or Martinsville. Like I think that's the only thing missing out of that whole headache of a playoff.
But Loudon does have that Martinsville-esque feeling. It's just a little faster. Of course, it's a mile, but it's flat like the Milwaukee mile. Very, very flat. You got to really, really be able to turn that car, without the help of any banking, really.
Right, and patience to run the top lane, the bottom lane, cross lanes, slide jobs. You can do it all there. Yeah. Same with the Kansas, next week at Kansas. You can run the bottom. You can wrap that white line or yellow line, or you can run right on the wall.
Yeah, Kansas is a great track for multi-lane racing. It's one of the few in the NASCAR system that I believe has, good three different lines that can be run. And they take turns on what's quicker. I mean, based on how many cars are running in that lane.
Right, and then air on the nose, downforce, lack of downforce, lack of air. You don't want to run right behind somebody, otherwise you get all this dirty air. Kind of like the Indy cars. And
Indy car, when you're right behind somebody, that car pushes like a dump truck. That's why we have to do the changes with all the ARBs and the rear wing and all that's at your fingertips, which is a whole nother type of driving. So, but hey, Andy, we're going to head on out to Kansas. So we'll kick out of here, head further west to Kansas, and then we'll take a 2-week break for Christmas and New Year's. That'll feel kind of weird, but then we'll come back in on the 6th of January. So, man, unless you got anything else, man, we're going to kick it out of here.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Yep, we will definitely see you guys at the next turn.
What an exciting race brought to you by One to Go Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.